Okay, hi. So, welcome. I'm going to show you how to do a knit stitch, because that's the first stitch that you need to know when you start to knit. So hello, I'm Belinda. I don't know if you can see me. Hi, breaking my neck there. Hi. So we're just going to work on 10 stitches. So you've cast on, you've looked at our videos, our previous ones, on how to cast on. So I'm just going to do a quick cast on so we're ready to roll. There are various different methods of casting on. Cable cast on, thumb method, long tail cast on. I'm just going to do the Belinda cast on because this is how I cast on. So if this looks really panicky, don't worry, I'm just doing my version. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 10 stitches on here. We're on 4, we're on 5, we're on 6, we're on 7, 8, 9, 10. Bravo. So we've got stitches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 stitches. So you will have your 10 stitches on your needle, comme ça, with your tail end here and your working yarn here in your ball. Okay? So what you're doing is you're really working loops into loops. And these are the loops you're going to be working. And you work this way round and you work across all these needles, and then you turn and you work back all across the needles. So let's start. The reason I'm using these double pointed needles, you're saying, Belinda, they've got no end, they're all going to fall off. However, I'm working on such a small amount, a few stitches, but it won't matter. But you can, at a later date, we'll show you how to actually work with double pointed needles where you can knit round and round and round and round in circles, which are quite good for tubes like gloves and arms and sleeves. Not arms, you don't want to knit arms. No. Okay, here we go. So, needle in left hand. Here you go, hold it like this. This is for right-handed knitters. RV will show you how to do knitting with left-handed knitters because I don't know how to do it. So, here we go. And I do apologise because I should really know. But as a right-handed person, I've never learnt. So here you go. All the stitches, you don't want it like that. Okay, you want them all facing you. So make sure that before you begin, you have them all facing you. Yarn at the back, this yarn, this tail at the back, and the working yarn, which you've got here. I call it yarn, generic term. Could be wool. Wool is from out of sheep, of course. This is merino. This is superwash merino, chunky. It's my yarn, and it's called Puff. 70 meters per 100 grams. Anyway, washing machine, drying machine. Can go in, that's what I mean. Can be washed. Okay, here we go. We've got our stitches. There you go, all facing forward. So, first stitch is this one here. This one here. I'm going to take this flower out of the way just to make it a little bit easier for you to see. Straighten up my little thing. Okay, so you're holding this in your hand with one stitch being shown. This is your needle that you're going to, what you're going to do is you're going to transfer all these stitches onto this needle. So you go in just the top part. As you can see, it's a loop, but you don't want to go into the right through the whole thing. You want to go just into the front loop. Okay? Keep it loose. That's what I would say. More and more people who are, lots and lots of knitters who I talk to and show how to knit, whether they're little people, big people, whoever, I don't know why, but I suppose because you're beginning, is to knit very tightly. The looser you knit, the easier it is. Okay, you can tighten up your tension, you can work your tension when you've got it. At the moment, keep it loose. Okay, here we go. So you're going into your top stitch. Okay, so bottom, this is the knit stitch, bottom to top. There you go, you're inside, you're there, you're there, you're there, you're there. Okay, then I would hold those two in your thumb and your index finger and your middle finger. So there you got it like that. With this yarn here, you're going to go over the top of the back needle. Okay, so you're going to go over round and you're going to bring it from the left hand side to the right hand side. Okay, and you're going to hold it like that. Now, for little people, when I tell them, I say it's quite good and useful to hold this and the needle in your hand, because then you've got it. Okay? So there you go, you've got this and you've got this. Now the thing is if you can see here, which I want to show you, you've got a bar, a little bar. There it is. There's your stitch. Okay? So what you're doing is you're bringing the needle up. There you go. You're bringing it up, and you're bringing it up, and you're still holding on to this, and you're holding it and holding it and holding it, and you've got it and you've got it and you've got it, and you've got one on there. Give it a little bit of a tug to tighten it up, and there's your first stitch. You're going to now do a second stitch. Same thing. Don't let go of this one. It tends to, it could fall off. Don't panic. Don't panic. Mr. Mannering, don't panic. Don't panic. Do this. Okay. Make sure. I mean, to start with, this is just the beginning. But as you progress, you will find that you will need to somehow tension the yarn so it doesn't just get all baggy. And what I find is quite useful is to wrap it around your little finger. So what I've done is I've just wrapped it like this, round, turn my hand over, and there I have it. Okay, so there. So here we go, second stitch, into the top, and it goes behind. You're making 90 degrees, 90 degrees, there you go. Okay, hold those together so it's nice and sturdy. You've got this, over the top. There, you're pulling down and down and down and down, and there's your stitch. I don't know if that's obvious, but there's your stitch, and there it is sticking there. And then you take that off. Okay, let's just see if I can get a little bit closer with my hands. I'm just going to take it just a tad in, so you can see more clearly. All right, let's have another go. So, here you go again. Bottom to top. Hold it with all your hands. Yeah, hold it, hold it, hold it. Over the top. Bottom to top. Over the top. Hold it for tension, making sure that your hands are good and secure. You pull it down. What happens is if it falls off, don't panic, don't panic. Go back in, hold it, hold this over the top like this. Make sure you hold your yarn and the needle. Go down, and the action is down, hook it round and over the top, and there. And again. Bottom to top. Hold your yarn, hold this, over the top. Hold your needle, down, there it is, the action. This is the hardest bit, actually. This is the hardest bit here, where you're doing this because you've got to be able to just get through that little hole there. That there. That's the bit that you want. And then over the top. Bottom to top. Hold. Over the top. There. Make sure you can see your hole. There's your stitch coming through. There it is. And shove off. Not you shove off. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? I don't mean that. Okay, here we go again. Da-da-da. Bottom to top. Got it? Over the top. There you go. Hold it. Push. If this helps to push this down a bit, you can. But there's your stitch in there. There's your bar. And that's what you want to do. You want to grab it. And then throw that one away. Okay? Into the bottom. Hold it. Over the top. Hold it. Got it. There's your stitch. There's your bar. There's your bar along there. Go like this and throw that one away. Up to the top. Hold it. Here you go. Over the top. Hold it like this. Here's your bar. There's your bar. Over the top. There you go. There. Over the top with your finger. There's your bar. Bring it down and throw it off. Last one. There's So bottom to top, over the top. There's your bar, there's your bar, there it is. Bring it down. Da-da-da! Okay, so this is what you'll have in your hand, and you'll think, oh my goodness, what do I do? I always think it's quite useful, keep it where it is, give it a good pull out, okay? Make sure that everything's pointing to the left, yeah? Swap hands, twist it around, doodly-do, give it a pull. You want all the bumps, if you can see, here on this side. This is where, you want the working yarn to be coming out from this side. If it's, you can't work from here. Can you see? That's not going to work at all. Okay, don't worry if it's baggy. Don't worry if there are holes or there's an inconsistency. It doesn't matter. It's about just practicing. The more you practice, the more you'll find that your stitches become more uniform. Okay, I'm going to show you again. I'm just going to do it again. I'm actually going to do it slowly, and then I'm going to speed up a bit just so you can see how it works. So, because people, there's no such thing as knitting a certain way of knitting. People knit the way that they think is comfortable for them. So find your own knitting style. Some people hold it under their arm, some people put it in our belt, some people, all sorts of different ways of doing it. Okay, but this is standard knitting, not continental knitting, where you're right-handed knitting. Okay, so here we go again. So there's your stitch, your working yarn's here, your waste yarn is here. This is really just to sew in at the end. I would keep a little tail because it's quite useful to sew stuff in when you're joining bits of fabric, or if you're making just a very simple scarf, which is great. At the end, which I'll show you can just do. So here you go. You're holding it again. Make sure you can see one stitch. Make sure you've got, what's that, a couple of centimetres at the top there. All right. Here we go again. So I'll show you what I'm doing here for tension. Doodly flip over my finger. I've got it through in between my pinky. I twist it over. Bob's your uncle. Maybe Bob's not your uncle. I wonder where that comes from. Bob's your uncle. I don't know. If anyone knows, do tell. So here we go. Holding the yarn in there. Okay. Now the way that I do this when I'm actually knitting my way is I hold this on my index finger and I move it round with my index finger. Now you may find that's a little bit too complicated right now, but which is fine. Just hold this in place, hold your yarn and move it round the needle. Okay, just that's what you're doing, over the top. And then, so bottom to top, over the top, down, push up and take that one off. Shove that up a bit. Stitch one stitch in front of your thumb. Yeah, there you go, like that. You're making a 90-degree shape, an X, in fact, an X. And here you go, over the top. Make sure you're holding both stitches, needles together. Over the top, yeah. So bottom to top, over the top, pull down. There's your bar. Up and over. Bottom to top, over the top, hold, down and over. Okay, you're finding it that it's sticking. Shove it up a little bit. Yep. Okay. Bottom to top. Okay, you've got your cross 90 degrees. Over the top, hold, pull down. There's your bar. There's your bar, and there you go. This is called garter stitch. Garter stitch is when you knit every row. I will show you how to do a purl stitch, and if you do a knit, one row purl, that's called stocking stitch. Okay, here we go. Down to the bottom, over the top, there and off. Bottom to top, over the top, there and over. Bottom to top, over the top, there and over. Bottom to top, over the top, there and over. Bottom to top, over the top, there and over. Bottom to top, over the top, there and over. Ta-da! And there you have two very nice rows of garter stitch, which is one row knit, next row knit, next row, next row in. Okay, super. Nice to talk to you. Speak to you again soon. Bye.